Ronnie Barbour's got issues.
This is BBC Essex.
I've got issues. I've got issue with people doing things on the surface that looks crazy. Well, it is. Actually, Laura, it is crazy what you're trying to do. It's Laura Try, everybody. I'm going to read this out. Is attempting to row 1,800 miles. Did you know it was 1,800 miles? Did somebody tell you, Laura?
I was initially told it was 1,500 miles.
It's gone up then.
It's gone up, yeah.
300 miles have been added. Around the coast of Britain in June, and then 3,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean in December.
Yes.
Is that still on?
It is still on, yeah. I originally was taking part in the Atlantic Challenge, and then I got an invite to row around Britain, so I said yes to that as well.
Is it single-handed, or are you in a team then? Or a crew?
Around Great Britain, I'm rowing in a team of 5.
Right.
And then across the Atlantic, I've yet to find my team, actually.
Right.
It's proving a bit of a struggle to find people crazy enough to join me in that.
Because that way, December, I was thinking about the weather will be rubbish, won't it?
Oh, well, we go from the Canary Islands, La Gomera in the Canary Islands, over to Antigua. So it's quite close to the equator. So therefore, the weather's going to be quite nice. But also, the trade winds are in our favour that time of year.
Ah, yeah, your trade winds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a big help to you, that is, isn't it? Yeah. You have no sails in your boat, have you?
Absolutely not. You're not allowed any sails.
I'm sorry, Laura, but I'm going to have to tell you, I'm no sailor myself, but the trade wind's not going to help you much, Laura.
I think every little bit helps, actually, Ronnie. Every little bit helps.
Are you doing it for charity?
I certainly am. I'm doing it for a charity very close to my heart called Centrepoint. They are the UK's largest charity that raises money for young homeless people.
Why that?
Well, when I started out in all my challenges, I'd never had anything unfortunate happen to myself or any of my friends or family. But sadly, last year, I was homeless for 3 months. And just going through that myself and knowing how scary it is, I then thought everything that I do, I now want to do for charity, for Centrepoint, and just help give those young people a roof over their head.
What a turning point, though, eh?
Yeah, it was.
To find you what, just suddenly, homeless or what?
It was a combination of events, teamed with a relationship split up, and not very much work because I was self-employed, and also I was suffering with depression as well, which then meant that the work I did have kind of was dwindling.
Yeah, it was affected.
I was left sleeping in my van, so it wasn't something that I never imagined would happen to me.
This is the first time I've actually had a conversation like this. I've spoken to people about homeless charity, but I've never actually sort of dug down and found out, when that happened, that moment. So 3 months, living in the back of your van then?
Pretty much. I'm lucky to have a van. Some people don't even have that. But I was staying at friends' houses, sofa surfing and kind of staying in spare rooms, but I never told anybody I was homeless because I was just too embarrassed and I felt like a failure. So I would text them and say, oh, hey, I haven't seen you in ages. Shall we meet up? Shall we have some food? And then say, oh, well, I might as well stay over, good chance to catch up, and just think, phew, I'm in a house for a night. And then frantically be texting somebody else to try and stay somewhere the next night. And if I didn't find anywhere, I would end up sleeping in my van in a supermarket car park.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I like finding out, what do you learn in 3 months like that then? What do you learn about you?
Well, that's a hard question actually, Ronnie. I learned that it is super, super tough to be homeless. You see people on the street and you think, oh, they've been doing it ages, they get used to it, or they must have a drug problem, or they must have an alcohol addiction, or, they've got nothing going for them. Admittedly, that's kind of the first thoughts that used to go through my head, but actually it's got nothing to do with that. It's just a change of circumstances, whether someone can't afford their rent or if they're in an abusive relationship and they just need to get away. Myself, I haven't got a lot of family, so I didn't have anywhere to go. It could be that someone is suffering from that. And so, yeah, I just now have an understanding of what them people are going through.
And then you're going to, by doing this and raising money for, for Centrepoint itself, fantastic. Your background, I was reading some of the things. I do some research occasionally, Laura. You owned a lingerie shop.
I did,
right?
Yeah.
Before giving that up.
Yeah.
All right. Why did you give it up? Was it just
Well, many people don't know this about me. A lot of my current friends only know me as my kind of crazy adventurous self. But my previous life, as I call it, I started off as a beauty therapist and owned a very successful beauty salon for 9 years, and I was earning a lot of money, and so I reinvested that money back into another business. The local lingerie shop in our town had closed down, and the whole town was up in arms. Where are we going to buy our bras and knickers? So I thought, I know what I'm going to do with my savings. I'm going to open a lingerie shop. But it never is as simple as it seems on the surface, with so many different shapes and sizes, colours, knickers, thongs, bras, balconettes, you name it. It was so difficult to pull that business in. So I had that for a year, and then I had to close it.
Then you've also, and this is what I have to ask you, because you're a qualified laughter yoga practitioner.
Yeah, I am.
Right.
I am. I don't do it as a job, and it doesn't earn me any money. But I more did it for self-development.
If you ever see me try to do yoga, you'll laugh, because so I understand that. So what do you mean is a laughter yoga then? What do you do with laughter yoga?
Laughter yoga, you don't have to do any yoga poses. So you don't need to be flexible. It's all to do with breathing and using your diaphragm. And it's really good therapy as well. Because coming back to that whole homeless thing or mental health and depression, some people go days, weeks, maybe even years without laughing. Mm-hmm. So laughter yoga at first is a forced way of laughing, which seems ridiculous. But in the end, it becomes really contagious. And actually myself, I went on it because I was going through a bit of a tough time, and I knew somebody that could offer it to me at a very good cost. And so I went on, and actually it was a real pivotal point of my life where I then started seeing the funny side of things. I was living out of a successful businesswoman going into living out of a van. I learned to see the funny side of that, and it kind of started building. Seriously,
Laura, life's ridiculous. It is. I've said it before. You can't plan for life, and it's just. I think it's God's joke sometimes. Just going, you know what? I'm just going to try. You can try this out and see how you go on with it. You raise money for Centrepoint. Can I point people towards? Have you got a Just Giving page or something?
Yes. Well, most importantly, the challenge to row around Great Britain is costing £21,000 for me to do. Wow. So the boat and the safety vessel and all of the equipment and training. So at the minute, I'm raising money for the challenge itself. And I have a GoFundMe page, which is gofundme.com/LT Factor. Everything that I raise over £21,000, of course, will go to Centrepoint.
Oh, great. Well, good luck to you. Keep in touch with us, will you? Let us know how you get on.
100%. I'm hoping that I can do an interview when I'm up in Scotland on the rowing boat.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I can help you out with the language and everything.
Yeah.
That's a high tide, that's a low tide. That's all you need to know. And the trade winds, it's going to, and then the Atlantic Ocean. Good luck with that, Laura.
Thank you so much.
Right, you get such a good guest. I don't say that to everybody. You get to pick the next tune, all right? I don't want a slow one, I want a fast one. I've got T-Rex, I've got Gold by Spandau Ballet, or I've got David Bowie and Sorrow, or James Bay, Hold Back the River.
I think I'm going to go for Gold. Because,
nice.
Yeah, you've always got to aim high, Ronnie.
Nice one. Laura, try, everybody.